Good morning, Santa Clarita. Good morning. Good morning. Well, I mean, as good as a morning can be when you pay $6.25 for a gallon of gas on the way into the studio. Man, that was a kick in the teeth this morning, but it is a beautiful morning outside. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. For those of you that know our show, you know Eye on the Valley is brought to you, like I said, by SCVi and I Lead Schools. We are a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua Dulce, Lancaster. We've got a fully accredited online school, and you know what? Let me pause right there. I know people would think, yeah, online school. How do you do online school? Well, it's a K through 12 online school, and yeah, your kindergartners are going to get full support. It's amazing. You really need to check out how iLead Online is doing K through 12 education. In fact, I bet they're going to get more direct attention from their teachers and coaches and other support than they would even get on a classroom-based campus. But I digress. We've got that online school. We've also got iLead Exploration, which is one of the most innovative homeschool programs in California right now, and they are just growing like crazy. So yeah, we've got classroom-based campuses. We've got independent study, homeschool, online. For more information about any of our schools, just go ahead and visit us at ileadschools.org. Peruse that website, find the program that's right for you and your kids, and go ahead and check us out. Again, that's ileadschools.org. So, yeah, we've got our eye on education here in Santa Clarita and across the nation, helping you sort things out. Education got complicated a couple of decades ago, and so we're helping you sort through things. But like the show says, we also keep our eye on the Valley as well, bringing you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the Valley. And we do so while trying to bring a smile to your face, because you know what? If you're not smiling, if you're not laughing, if you're not giggling, then what are you doing there? So laugh with us, laugh at us, laugh near us, whatever you're going to do. As long as you're laughing, we want you around. So we are here. It's another beautiful day in the Valley. It seems like fall is finally creeping in. I'm enjoying it. It was a little foggy coming into the studio this morning. It was beautiful. A little cooler in the evenings now. The days have been absolutely beautiful. So just the way we like them here in SoCal. Yeah, that's the reason the rent's so high. But it's worth it, ain't it? So do me a favor. Open up a window this morning if you're at home, or if you're in the car. Roll down the window. Open up that sunroof. You can hear the birds, or like I said, if you're driving, you feel the cool morning air on your face. Let's enjoy this morning together. I've got my coffee. Have you got yours? It's going to be a great show. You know, in just a moment, we've got the board president of the Raising the Curtain Foundation, Kim Pearlman. They're working to bring the arts to the youth of Santa Clarita. She is absolutely great. We'll talk to Kim in just a minute. We'll also be talking to Colleen Banks Shanahan, office manager with SCVi Charter School. And yes, as we always do, we'll wrap the show with Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Big T will be stopping by with trivia and silliness. And yeah, for those of you that don't know, yeah, he's my big brother. Mom doesn't let me have anything nice on my own without sharing with my big brother, so she makes me put him on the show. And he comes in, and we have lots of fun at the end of the show. So we'll be wrapping up the show with that. And we're working on it. I don't want to jinx it, but if you stick around, there is a chance today that we'll be joined by the greatest coach in the nation. So who do you think that is? Like I said, don't want to jinx it, but we might be able to pull it off. Stick around, see if we can do that, and enjoy the show either way. Let's have some fun together. As I said, my first guest is Kim Pearlman. She is the board president of the Raising the Curtain Foundation. Kim is an educator and community activist that I've known for over 11 years now. She's a great member of the community, full of energy and a passion for the arts. The mission of the Raising the Curtain Foundation is to enhance the Newhall Family Theater for the Performing Arts, an inclusive performance venue for members of the community, artists, students, and educators. Founded in 2018, the foundation helps create and promote programming held at the Newhall Family Theater and to help introduce the performing arts to the local community. Kim Pearlman, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's so good to have you, Kim. You are a longtime friend, like I said, and it's wonderful to be able to catch up with you. So do tell us and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, how you came to work with the Raising the Curtain Curtain Foundation. A little bit of background on your career, because I know that that kind of spurred a little bit of the passion, and then how you came to raising the curtain.
Yeah, so I, like you said, I was an educator in Santa Clarita for quite a few years. Early on, I worked in the Newhall School District. And on top of that, my daughter got really involved in theater at a young age. And so I quit teaching. Sorry, but to stay
Well,
home.
you paused to raise a
To
family,
pause,
I think.
yes, to raise my family, and said family grew up and moved out, and so I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, with my time and how I wanted to spend it, and I had heard about the theater going in and the foundation being created, and I thought, well, this is just perfect. This is getting me involved in theater again. I have a connection with the Newhall School District. I still have a lot of friends that are in the district, so I thought this would be perfect. So I seeked it out. I filled out their application. I did not get picked right away.
That's okay. Some of the best
it is
ones
okay.
don't.
I feel like things happen in the right time.
Sure.
And eventually, I did receive a phone call and said, "Would you like to come join us? We need help getting volunteers and things like that." So I kind of just dabbled a little bit in the beginning, and then moved up to vice president, and then COVID hit. So that was really interesting, being on a board for a theater that can't be open.
Sure. It's easy work.
We did continue, working through the,
wow.
but obviously we weren't, bringing in programming and things like that. But so and eventually worked my way up to president, and it's new for me, but I love it. I love being involved again with the performing arts in Santa Clarita, because I was so involved with, especially my daughter growing up. Well,
Yeah.
and even in my son at SCVi, I helped create the theater program there with
Yeah.
Miss Elizabeth Rydell. We did the first, big production there and started. I know the program has grown huge there
Oh,
since
yeah.
then. Yeah. So it's just fun to have my hands, in it again.
Yeah. Let's talk about the venue for a second, because I don't know that everyone in
Yeah.
the community knows about the Newhall Family Theater, and they should, because it's part of the Newhall School District, but it's not exclusive
Right.
for the Newhall School District. It's this beautiful iteration of a community theater and education right here in the center of our valley. Tell us a little bit about the theater, where it is, what it's used for, and what kind of the idea of the community theater is.
So it's actually just up the street. It's part of Newhall Elementary School on Walnut.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it's yes, the school uses it. Yes, the district uses it. They use it for talent shows and events and classes and things.
Sure.
But it is also available to the community. So on top of what the school district uses it for, and then we bring in programming for the community.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also available for outside entities to come in, rent the space. It's a gorgeous space.
It is.
It's 500 plus seats, state of the art lighting and sound. All the amenities. It's kind of got that Art Deco vibe that it had early, before the renovation. So it's just a beautiful venue to go to, and it's kind of that in between. We have small, and then we have the pack, which is really big, and
Sure.
I feel like this is a nice, in between.
Right, you
for
need something in between 40 and 4,000 seats.
Yeah. So it's a perfect venue for that. So the community can come and enjoy programming and shows and things like that, but then the community can also rent out the space and use it put on their own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it really is a beautiful iteration, idea, marriage of school and community. So you mentioned your kids, so it's not just you with a passion for theater, but I believe both of your kids are involved in the industry now.
Yes,
right.
yes.
They're hardcore. Tell us a little bit about your kids and what they're doing.
Well, I'm so thankful for the Santa Clarita Valley and the push for the arts, that the valley has, because both of my kids have gone that direction. My daughter started theater when she was 5, which seems like so long ago, and did theater all through elementary, junior high, high school. She was part of the Saugus High School theater department, improv team. She is now in school for musical theater. She's getting her Bachelor in Fine Arts in Musical Theater. Planning on moving to New York, the whole bit.
Yeah, gonna be on Broadway
And then,
soon.
yeah, gosh, I hope so. And then my son developed a love of technical theater at SCVi.
Yep.
Yeah, went through their program and is now working event production, lighting, stagehand, those kind of things for his career. So we are definitely a theater nerd family for sure. Yeah, and I think mine was kind of secondhand, just being involved in what they were involved in.
Oh, okay.
But that is really where my love of theater. I mean, I liked it, growing up and everything. But that's really where my passion came, just being backstage and being all the opportunities I had through
Sure.
them.
Being the theater mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool that you get to kind of be the theater mom for the community now.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
I like that.
Helping stage some really cool
I like that.
programming
Yeah.
and getting other venues in here on the Newhall Family Theater. Now, you mentioned that, or maybe I mentioned it, that the foundation has been around since 2018, but the theater's been around a little bit longer than that. Can you give us a little history on the Newhall Family
I have
Theater?
a fabulous history lesson for you.
Oh, I love
If
history.
you will,
Please, please, please.
Yes. And I have my dates written down here because I know it's kind of geeky stuff, but I just think it's so cool how it's come all the way around.
Yeah.
Back to its original purpose after so many years. So the theater was built in 1925, and with the elementary grammar school, as it was called at the time.
Right. I remember when we used to call it grammar school.
yeah.
I'm that old, yeah.
And so it was built in 1925. In 1939, it caught fire and was damaged. And through the WPA, Works Progress Administration,
All right.
and fundraising in 1941, they were able to rebuild it and restructure it. And that's when it kind of got its Art Deco,
Okay.
theme. And it was used by the community. It was the only thing like that in the community at the time.
Yeah.
Graduations, events, things like that. And it was prominent in the community.
Sure.
And then in 1975, with all of the development in the valley, they needed more classroom space, so it became storage. And so they started stuffing stuff in there, and as I don't know, as generations went by,
Teachers
like
do that, right?
Yeah.
We need to store our stuff,
You're
and
right,
our
yeah.
garage can get small.
And after so many years, people didn't realize what was behind all that stuff, and
Yeah.
it just kind of got forgotten. And as terrible as the '94 earthquake was, it did involve people going into the venues, to check, or the schools, to check the damage and stuff. And they realized that there was this beautiful theater behind all this stuff. And so the community got together and started fundraising to rebuild, to bring it back to its glory. And in 2011, there was a bond measure put on the ballot for the
Okay.
Newhall School District, and it was for the district, but a lot of the money was allotted just for the theater, and they
Sure.
were finally able to rebuild the theater, and they kept the 1940s vibe of it. We have the original you can never say it right, persimmon, or the thing around the stage. I knew I'm like, should I try to say it? I don't know. And the Art Deco vibe when you walk in, and in 2017 we were able to open our doors, and in 2018 we had the first outside organization come in. I think SCVi was one of the first. I think maybe the second that came in. Sarah was telling me that they did Wizard of Oz there, so that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. So I just love this how it started and what we brought it back to, and now it's back to its original purpose in the community after so many years. I mean, 1925. Like that's
well,
crazy.
It is a beautiful story of like early 20s and 30s glory, kind of growing up with Hollywood and with William S. Hart just down the street.
William S. Hart used to do screenings there.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. And then kind of fading into obscurity and
Yep.
getting completely forgotten about. I'm kind of thinking like, the Brave Little Toaster kind of thing. or right? And then all of a sudden kind of coming back to take its rightful place in the community. SCV TV needs to really do like a thing, like some sort of documentary on
There
the history
is
of
a
the theater.
video, I think. It might be on our website. Oh, I hate to say I might. I'm trying to think if it's still there. There was a video made about the reconstruction of it and everything and how it came to be. But yeah, I think it's a great story, and I love being part of it.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And I think producer Sarah is probably dropping your website on our Facebook Live feed. So
Okay.
if you're listening to us and you want to see us, we are here in studio, and you can check us out on KHTS's Facebook Live feed. Uh, and then you can see those links as producer Sarah drops them. So the space reopened, you said, I think in 2011. It's being used by the school. I mean, what an amazing school auditorium.
Right.
And I know Newhall's known for their music program and things like that, and I'm sure they do plenty of things there. But it's also, you said, available for the public to rent and utilize for different events and productions. So how does it work? Because you know the community as well as just about anybody in town. We've got 100 local bands that are looking for a place to play, or people that are putting on amateur productions or looking to do certain things. So if I'm listening and I'm thinking, well, yeah, I'd love a venue that could seat 500 people that I could perform, that's fully rigged and
Right.
got the lighting and sound and everything that we need. How do I book the venue?
You can go to the Newhall Family Theater webpage. I think it's newhallfamilytheater.com. And contact Tom Lund. He is the theater manager. And he has the schedule, and he books everything there. And I think the cool thing too is that you can bring your own tech people, but if you don't have tech people, that they are available through the theater for a fee.
Okay.
So that is another perk to being there. But yeah, if you contact Tom Lund at Newhall Family Theater, he is the one to contact about getting into there. Yeah.
And you nailed the website, newhallfamilytheater.com.
.com, okay.
So yeah, and it's a great website, very well managed,
Yes,
well done.
yes.
So go ahead and check them out there, newhallfamilytheater.com. Kim Pearlman, the board president of the Raising the Curtain Foundation, joins us this morning. Kim, I see you guys have a lot going on at the Newhall Family Theater coming up. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will talk about some of the different things that folks may want to attend and then get involved in here at the Newhall Family Theater. I am Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. The board president of the Raising the Curtain Foundation, Kim Pearlman, is joining me this morning. And when you think Raising the Curtain, that's right, you think theater, right? And that's exactly what they're doing. Raising the Curtain Foundation is supporting the Newhall Family Theater right here in downtown Newhall and providing tremendous programming for, the Newhall School District, but also for the community and if you were willing, by the community. I love that. It's for the community. It's by the community. Raising the Curtain has some events coming up to support the theater, right? Because they do need support. This isn't a cheap endeavor, but also to share with the community what it means to be part of a production. Let's talk about those. What have you got coming up, Kim?
So coming up on the 15th, we have a celebration of the performing arts. This is our third one. We did the first one as our grand reopening, after COVID. This was our way to get everybody back,
Great.
And so this is our third one, and it just keeps getting bigger and better. And basically, it is it's 6 workshops. It's 6 mini workshops that kids rotate through, and they learn about the backstage aspects of theater. So we figure that there are so many opportunities in this valley for kids to get on stage, but there's not a lot for them to learn what goes on behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the kids are rotating through 6 stations: sound, lighting, directing, blocking, costumes, hair and makeup. And one of these teachers is going to get upset at me. One more. And I don't think I wrote it down. And
But
one
they're
more.
getting involved in everything that goes
all
into the
the
theater,
aspects,
because
yes.
theater is not just on stage acting. There's
so much more that goes
Yeah.
into the production. And the instructors, they're all they've all worked in their industries, and many of them are also educators. So they're really bringing a lot of enthusiasm and creativity to their activities. That the kids are going through. It's hands-on, interactive, and the last 2 have gone so well. We've had so many more kids sign up this year, this rotation. So we're super excited that it's as big as it is,
Great.
And so that is on the 15th.
Okay. And again, this is for kids.
This is grades 4 through 6.
Okay,
Thank
4
you.
through 6. Is it just within the Newhall School District, or is
Nope,
this open for?
it's open for the whole valley.
All right.
Yes.
So if I've got a kid in private school, charter school, Saga, Sulphur Springs, anybody. Okay. So and again,
Kids grades 4 through 6. Yes, you can go on our website, and there's a link to the Eventbrite. You don't. Yes, go. It's free.
okay.
But just so we can get a head count,
Sure.
you can go on Eventbrite and register.
Sure. Yeah. And again, newhallfamilytheater.com, and that'll
That one, raisingthecurtainfoundation.org.
Okay, raisingthecurtainfoundation.org,
Yes.
and you can sign up your kids 4th through 8th.
4 through 6.
That's what I said. 4th through 6th grade, and they can experience everything that goes into putting on a stage production.
Yes.
And I think it's a great way for kids to get a taste of things, because they might work on the lighting and think, whatever, or backstage and production and not my jam, but then get into costuming and say, wow, that's really my passion. And what a great way to get their
Right.
feet wet. Yeah.
Yeah, and a new generation into, you don't have to. I was talking to Tom, the theater manager, and saying, you don't have to be an actor or be a performer to be involved in theater.
Right. You can
and
be
that
an
is-
introvert and have a great career in the theater.
Yes, I'm a backstage person myself.
Right.
I love to work backstage.
Not me. I like the microphone and the spotlight, boy. So, and then next weekend on Saturday, October 22nd, Raising the Curtain, I think, is partnering with the City of Santa Clarita Library, right, to present Connections Cultural Community Showcase.
Yes.
What time is that, and what is that all about?
That's 5:30 to 7 on, like you said, on the 22nd. It's at the theater. That's going to be a great event. The library got a grant through Humanity. Oh, that's where I wrote it down. California Humanities, and put this event together. And it's just kind of a celebration of culture and arts. We have groups. We have a Hawaiian. We have a sitar player.
Oh, wow.
A Bulgarian folk dance. So a lot of different groups are coming in and performers from all different cultures around the world. So we're super excited about that one. It's free to the community. Again, you can go on our website and go on Eventbrite. Just to get, you don't have to, in order to go, but, to get a head count of kind of what to
Sure,
expect.
yeah. Give them a heads up and let them know
Yeah.
how many people are going to be there. A few years back, our libraries kind of autonomized from the LA County, and ever since they've been doing some amazing things. And what a great idea to partner with this
Yeah.
beautiful theater right here in our community.
Yeah, and it's right down the, right down the street. So it's a great partnership, and we're super excited about that event.
And wow, Raising the Curtain does a lot, because you also have opening on November 18th, Winter Wonderettes.
Yes.
What is Winter Wonderettes? I feel like is this like Radio City, the Rockettes kind of thing?
Yeah. No.
No, not at all. I'm way off. So what is Winter Wonderettes?
We have again partnered with another organization, Olive Branch Theatricals, and they are putting on a production called Winter Wonderettes, and it has music, all the holiday hits, but in a '60s vibe. But it's not a
cool.
concert. There's a story. It's a production,
all right.
and there's 4 extremely talented women starring in it, and they all went through theater here in Santa Clarita. So it was kind of fun. I went to watch the grand opening of Olive Branch Theatricals, and they sang and they did some previews. And having watched these kids when they were in 9th grade, singing, and now as beautiful adults and amazing voices.
Wow.
So it's gonna be a great show, great way to celebrate the holidays.
Yeah.
We have 11 shows.
Okay.
From November 18th. November 19th to December 11th.
Oh, starting November 19th through December 11th.
Yes.
And what a great, so local talent, a local grown talent. We've got such a talented community.
Absolutely.
Local talent and a great way to kick off the winter and holiday season.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And you can go on either Olive Branch Theatricals website or our website to get tickets. And that one is not free. That's $15 to $20 for a ticket.
Oh, yeah, a show like that.
Yeah.
It's
a production value and
But
all,
it sounds
big
well
production.
worth it, yeah.
Yeah, so we have that coming up, so we're super excited. So we have a lot of stuff, after being dark for so long,
Yeah.
it's fun to have so many things going on.
Yeah, that is great. And you say that folks can get tickets on your website, but we've talked about a couple of different websites. We've got the
Yeah, yeah.
so you've got the foundation website and the theater website. Where
Right.
do we get tickets for Winter Wonderettes starting on November 19th?
You can get, there is a link on our website. Um, the
Newhall
the
Family Theater.
I'm sorry, the Raising the Curtain Foundation.
Boom.
Yes.
RaisingTheCurtainFoundation.org.
Org.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Olive Branch Theatricals as well, and I believe
Okay.
they're olivebranchtheatricals.org as well.
Okay.
So they have it, and actually go to their website as well, because a lot of their other things that they're performing in are also on their calendar.
Yeah. One of the things our community is known for most is our philanthropy. Folks are really into supporting each other and making sure that our kids and our entire community really have access to all the different things that make our community the thriving place that we are. So obviously, if folks want to support the Newhall Family Theater and the Raising the Curtain Foundation, attend the events.
Yes.
Get on the websites and see what events are going on. Bring your kids to the different events that'll get them into theater. Go to Winter Wonderettes in November and December. But if folks just want to help out, or maybe they want to kind of go above and beyond. I want to do a little bit more than spend $20 on a ticket to Winter Wonderettes. I want to make sure that this theater continues to thrive for generations to come. How can folks support the foundation and the Newhall Family Theater?
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Actually, you had just said a great slogan. It was what'd you say? By the community, or for the community, by the community.
So the Newhall Family Theater,
Yeah.
it is a community or a theater for the community by the community.
I love that. I'm gonna remember that one.
All right.
But I kind of liken our organization to kind of like the PBS, brought to you by viewers like you type of thing.
Sure. I love
So
that.
for us to be able to bring programming to the theater and for the community, we're a nonprofit and we're tasked with supporting the theater. So we do need support from the community. And so there's several ways. You can go on our website again, raisingthecurtainfoundation.org.
Yep.
And there's a donate button. If just a straight donation, we accept those all the time. And then as far as donating, we also have our Grand Ovation campaign, which is basically naming. So you can purchase a seat, so to speak, at the theater. So for different donation amounts, depending on where your seat is in the theater, your name is engraved on a plaque and it's permanently affixed to a seat.
Oh, wow.
So you could do it, for your own name, your family name, in memoriam, a group, whatever, and really kind of become part of the legacy of the Newhall Family Theater in the community. So we have that going on.
That's so cool.
And then we also have naming of spaces in the theater. So the main stage, the tech booth, the box office, patio benches, things like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, like, for the right price, we could have the Honorable Matthew Watson
Absolutely.
mezzanine or what?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I
So
love
we
it.
have those programs going on. The name plaques are up on our website right now. If you
Okay.
wanted, if anybody wanted to be part of that, the spaces will be up soon. On the website, but we have that as well. And then we have we do fundraisers, throughout the year. So being part of those, but also it takes more than a board of a few to run these events.
All right. So you need
So
some hands
we
as
need
well.
some hands as well.
All
So
right.
if anybody's interested in volunteering for Raising the Curtain Foundation, we do have a couple of things coming up. Obviously, we have a few more spaces. If anybody wants to volunteer to chaperone groups,
great.
around for a celebration of performing arts. We need more hands for the library event and definitely Winter Wonderettes, because we have 11 shows. We looking for ushers. So come usher for half an hour, and then you can stay for the show.
Well, and yeah, what a great way, I know a lot of times parents will tell kids, "Hey, come on, we're going to go do this thing with the theater." Yeah. Well, mommy's working the event, and then you get to go around this. Oh, okay. This is
Yeah.
the thing we're doing as a family.
Yeah.
Okay, and I say mommy. It doesn't have to be mommy. It can be daddy. It can be grandma, grandpa.
Right.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, and then just in general, if you're just interested, maybe you're busy for those events, if you, again, want to go on our website, we have a sign up for volunteer. We put you on the list and we reach out anytime that we need volunteers, ticket takers, concessions, ushers, things like that for events. Because we also, if somebody does want to pair with us to bring in an event from the outside, we will offer volunteers as well if we have them. So there's a lot of ways for the community to get involved.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, if you want to be involved in the theater and supporting the arts here in the community, go ahead and check out the newhallfamilytheater.com website or raisingthecurtainfoundation.org website. You know, I talked about how, you know, the fall weather is creeping in. You're talking about the winter and holiday programming coming up, and with that, the end of the year. Great time for folks to be making a donation, right? Because we're starting to look forward to tax season, and we got to get those donations there on the record. So what a great cause to do so, and helping you out with your taxes. Kim, one last thing real quick. I know this is what folks are really tuning in to find out. It's week 5, and I know you're a huge Patriots fan. How are the Pats doing so far? It's been a little rough going since y'all lost your captain at quarterback.
Yeah, I can't say that I was kind of a new football fan when I started that.
All right.
And I don't really follow them anymore.
You kind of jumped off the bandwagon after Tom Brady left town. And not a bad move, by the way.
I did.
All right, fantastic. Kim Pearlman, board president of the Raising the Curtain Foundation. I want to thank you so much for everything that you're doing in and for our community to really carry the banner for the arts and helping kids and artists find that creative outlet. Again, it's newhallfamilytheater.com or raisingthecurtainfoundation.org for more information. When we get back, I believe we're still shoring it up, but I do think we've got, as I mentioned before, the greatest coach in the country. So do stand by. Kim Pearlman, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you real soon. I am Matt Watson. You're listening to SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley, and on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. Well, I've been talking about it all morning, that we were hoping to have the greatest coach in the country joining us this break, and we did it. We did it. So, have any guesses? Do you know who I'm talking about? We mentioned the New England Patriots with our last guest, Kim Pearlman. Is it Bill Belichick? Who do you think? Maybe Dave Roberts of the Dodgers? No. The greatest coach in the country. It's you. That's right. It is you. Do you have kids? If you've got kids, well then it could be you. And if you don't have kids, it could be you someday. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. You know, I've been a parent now for a little over 20 years, 22 years, and about 22 and a half years to be exact. And I've heard this debate even before I had kids amongst parents, and it's a debate that sometimes we throw around in society, but I think it's a debate that rages more internally inside of all parents. Should I be my kid's friend, or should I be more of the authoritarian, the one who's in charge, telling them what to do and how to do it and things like that? Am I my... And so you hear this, right? No, you're not supposed to be your kid's friend. You are the parent. They have friends, be the parent. Or I really want to be my kid's friend. I want them to be able to come to me and talk to me about their stuff. And so what is it? We want to be liked by our kids, but we also want to be listened to, respected, obeyed by our kids. And it's hard, right? As parents, we walk the line a lot. But here's what I want to propose to you. Don't be your kid's friend or their boss. Be their coach. Now, if you've ever been involved in sports, whether it's high-level sports, professional, college, or just little league, AYSO, soccer, that kind of thing, you know that there's that special relationship with a coach. And a coach isn't the kid's friend, but isn't necessarily that strict authoritarian. Let's talk about what a coach does, and I want you to kind of hang on to this analogy as we talk about parenting our kids as we coach them, right? What does a coach do? A coach teaches, trains, encourages, gives their team the opportunity to put their training in action, puts them in a position to win. And then they, after the game, right, after they've had that opportunity to put their training into action, the coach's job isn't over. They then, they review the film, right, to reflect on their team or individual performance. And then the cycle repeats itself, right? Because then after you've reflected on performance from the last game, then you go back to teaching and training and encouraging, providing the opportunity, reflecting. So let's talk about what that looks like, right? When we teach as a coach, when we teach as a parent, we show them how, right? We instruct. I remember, my dad was my coach in baseball growing up, and then when I started playing football, it was a different person. And what they would do early on is they would show me how. They would say, "Get out of the way. Let me show you what I mean." And they would show proper technique, proper form. They would demonstrate. They would instruct. But it was also important for them to be a good example. Right? I think of Sean McVay, the coach of the Rams, and the importance of being in top physical shape as a football player. And then you look at the coach, right? His physical shape doesn't matter at all. Bill Belichick taught us that. But Sean McVay he's rock solid, right? He's in there. He's in the weight room, and he's leading by example the importance of physical training. We also need to do that as a parent, right? So we need to show our kids, we need to instruct our kids, and we also need to be that good example as we teach them. Training our kids is a little bit different, right? Training is now giving them the opportunity to practice, right? So whether as they grow up, we like to give our kids training in the kitchen, right? Come on in and help dad with dinner. Let me show you how to do this and how to do that. Now you try it, that kind of thing. Let them do the different things and give them feedback, right? And so I'm not talking about just cooking. I'm talking about every facet of life. Maybe let them do the grocery shopping. Let them, age appropriately, of course, but have your kids sit with you while you do the bills. Everything that goes into adulting, let your kids practice that while they're with you, right? And think about when you were a young adult. There were so many different things, because I think just about every parent misses something, right? There's so many different things that when we go into adulthood that we miss and we do for the first time. And we say, wow, this is, I never imagined it could be like this. Well, take that away from your kids by giving them the opportunity to practice repeatedly. Okay? That third step, encourage. Encourage your kids. Be their greatest cheerleader. Yes, be honest, but encourage them. And we talked about the opportunity, game time, right? Let them do it. So many times we do so much for our kids that we stunt their growth. And by the time they get into the real world, they've never done it before and they fail miserably because they don't have any practice. Let them do it, right? And then reflect. Right? Once they've done it, reflect. Go over the game film. Go over their performance. Let them reflect. Ask reflective questions of your kids. What did you do? How did it work out? And you can do this, when they come home from school and they've had a problem at school or something like that, or they've had an issue with their friends or something happened with their cousin or something like that. Or just, after they cooked a meal, right? What did you do? How did it work out? What might you have done differently? And how might that have changed the outcome, and what would you do differently next time? Okay, and then repeat that process. Make sure there is a next time. Remember, don't ever bench your kids for poor performance. Now, be careful not to put them in the game before they're ready, right? Don't let them, for example, start driving at 9 years old. But once you're sure they're ready, put them in the game and don't ever bench them again. Let them keep doing it, even if they fail. Otherwise, you take that responsibility away from them. They're going to doubt themselves forever. So there you have it. There you have it. The world's greatest coach. It is you. It can be you. Coach your kids, because remember, you're training your kids for success in life. The better coach that you are, the better they will be in the big game of life. So, yeah, I'm here to propose that to you. Don't be their friend. Don't be their boss. Be their coach and teach them, train them, encourage them, give them the opportunity to do it, and then reflect and repeat. All right? So, again, the better coach you are, the better they will be in the game of life. There it is, the best coach in the world. And I am Matt Watson. You're the best coach in the world. And you're listening to SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM, and on the internet at hometownstation.com. That's right. You can listen to us on the air. You can also see us on Facebook Live at the KHTS Facebook page. You can stream it on hometownstation.com. We are available for your listening pleasure all over the place. I am Matt Watson, your host. You are listening to SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. And our next guest is Colleen Banks Shanahan. Colleen has been with SCVi Charter School for more than a decade now and held numerous positions over the years. She's currently the office manager at SCVi, iLead's founding school. And as anyone who works in education can tell you, the office manager is the backbone of the school. Nothing happens if it doesn't go first through the office manager. And if you want to know anything about SCVi Charter School, you just ask Colleen. That's why we brought her in this morning. And you know, there's a pretty good chance that she'll know the answer. And if you do happen to throw a curveball that gets by her and she doesn't know the answer, there's a 100% chance that she knows where to find out. Colleen, welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. In your intro, I mentioned you've been with SCVi for over a decade now. I think you've been there actually a little bit longer than I've been with our organization, and I've dipped into I think my 12th year now. So you've got to be at least a little bit more than 11, and in your 12th year as well.
I am.
You've been with us since almost the beginning. So can you tell us a little bit about the different roles that you've held at our school?
Absolutely. I started out as a care team or yard supervisor. I started out as that, and then from there moved sort of into facilities, then moved into a one-on-one aide, then I was a classroom aide, then I did speech and occupational therapy. Then I moved into attendance. Then I was the high school office manager doing attendance. From that, I moved into being the school's registrar and office manager. This year, one job, office manager. So in and amongst all of that, I've covered classes. I've done it all. There isn't pretty much anything that I haven't done here at the school. So, yeah, I have been around. I think I'm the last one on the campus right now. We don't like to say the oldest one. I am just the most experienced here at SCVi. We'll just say that.
You know what? I'm kind of running through the school directory in my brain, and I am 100% sure that you are right about that. And that experience with our school, Colleen, is what makes you so amazing as an office manager, because as the office manager, as I mentioned, you need to know everything that's going on campus, and you do, because you've pretty much done everything that's going on campus and done so well, and that also makes you such an amazing standard bearer for our culture at SCVi. We'll get into the SCVi's culture in a little bit, because that's something that's really part of what makes us so unique. But let's get back to your story a little bit. So you came to us well over a decade ago. How did you find us at SCVi? How did you come to work for us? Because, you know, I've asked hundreds of kids over the years, what do you want to be when you grow up? And none of them have ever said, I want to work at a charter school. Right?
Right, yeah. It's not usually on the list of things that people want to do.
Right.
But it's great. So what brought me here was what brings most people to SCVi, which is our kids. Yeah. So my two youngest children. But I was working in another school district in our valley, and had some downtime that day and was reading the newspaper, and there happened to be an article about SCVi in the paper. And I thought, boy, that sounds super interesting. And my youngest son at the time was in middle school, and being, in my opinion, pigeonholed. Oh, your son has ADHD, your son has ODD, which is opposition defiance disorder for those that don't know all the acronyms that are out there. And he's this, he's that. And what I knew from my son was that school was making him physically ill. He couldn't go to school because he was so riddled with anxiety that it manifested physically for him. And I knew I had to find a different solution. So I read this article, and his younger sister and I went and came over to SCVi, and we took a tour. And that's when our founders, Dawn and Amber, still had offices on campus, and they were actually led the tour. And, and my daughter couldn't get past the fact that they let you chew gum in class. She was astounded by that. And I said, don't you have any questions? She's like, but I can chew gum in class, Mom. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's all it takes for you, So she went home and told her brother, it's great, it's awesome. Mom signed us up. And we waited. And then we got a phone call that said, you're in. And I was super excited, and they both came, and my son was not thrilled by any stretch of the imagination. So we started here with a 9th and an 8th grader.
Okay, so you went for one kid, and you ended up enrolling 2 kids.
Yeah, I said if one goes, the other goes. I can't. So,
all right.
And then I started volunteering, and next thing I know, I had a job, and this turned out to be the perfect place for both of my children, who had absolutely different needs. We came for my son, and he ended up having facilitators who let him be himself. He could walk around the room when he had a thought, so he didn't forget, and it was okay.
Yeah.
And my daughter could chew gum, which made her day, and he could be himself, and he was told he was terrible at math all his educational life up until then. And then he came to SCVi, and it chokes me up because, because you're my kids, and he was bad at math, and he was never going to get it. And he came here, and it was a total 180. And then the math facilitator at the time said, Jared, can you help, this learner next to you do their math because you understand it so well. and that was just like, I was like, that's it, we're home. And it wasn't, this is how you do math. You follow steps A, B, and C. And it was, okay, yeah, you can do A, B, and C, but you can also do 1, 2, and 3. As long as you get to this answer, it doesn't matter. And I was like, oh, my God, thank you. So that was it for him. We were here. We found his home. He was allowed to be who he was and not pigeonholed or, judged.
Yeah.
And then my daughter, who was I didn't know until we came to SCVi, she was that kid who never had a problem in school. She had straight A's. Before we came to SCVi, she was a straight A kid. She was never an issue. She was one of those invisible children. And then we came here, and classroom sizes were smaller, and our school, as you know, was very small back then.
Yeah.
And she came here, and she was not just another child in a classroom. She was made to express herself, made to share her opinion, and she blossomed socially, emotionally.
Yeah.
To the point that, during her 10th grade year, we had a group that went to Belize on a trip, and they took a bunch of 10th graders, and they I think they took clothes and computer supplies, books, all the things that they took with them, and they went to visit an orphanage. And to the point that was what my daughter's goal was that when she graduated high school, she wanted to go back. And so I know I end up talking too much, but
no, it's beautiful, right? Because
this is my story.
Yeah.
And and it turned out to be, she found herself socially, emotionally. He stopped being ill because of education. And found where he could thrive and be who he was, and he wasn't judged for it.
Yeah.
So even though my daughter decided that during her senior year, this was no longer the place for her.
Okay.
She applied at another school, AOC actually, with one of her friends. She applied, and out of 500 applicants, there were 10 spots, and she got in.
Oh, wow.
So I'm proud of her for that.
Sure.
But she applied, and she did that, and she still went back to that orphanage when she graduated, and she spent 10 months as a house mother living and working in that same orphanage that she visited in 10th grade. And still to this day, she's 25 now, but to this day still keeps in touch with the people that are there.
Wow. Wow, that
and so she made those huge connections. And, you know, Jared, as you know, my youngest son, he was the first in the first graduating class, so we literally had 26 kids graduate.
Yep.
And that was fantastic. And I've been here ever since.
Wow. You know, you talk about that trip to Belize, and, you know, I think most of our community has become familiar with SCVi now, and sometimes we can forget that lowercase I stands for international, and your daughter obviously had an amazing experience on that school trip to Belize, right? Who takes a field trip to Belize?
Right.
But our kids have done that multiple times over the years. I think we've had a couple of different groups go to London to expand their theatrical education. We had a group that went to Western India, I believe, on a similar mission. And then after the hurricane a few years back in Puerto Rico, we sent several groups of kids to Puerto Rico, and they helped rebuild the island. A lot of different things, which is really, it's almost a shame that I, international and SCVi, is lowercase, right? Our kids are almost capitalizing that I for us.
For sure.
But Colleen, you and the experience that you've had as a parent with just your two kids really does exemplify what SCVi is and why we exist in the educational space, because it's horrific to say so, but even today in 2022 in education, we tend to kind of sort and classify our students, right? This one's the smart one. This one's the problem child. This one's the one that can't sit still, or you know, this one's going to be the athlete. And you know, when you were talking about your two kids, I was thinking about my brother and I growing up. My brother was quickly labeled the rambunctious kid who was not a good student, and he's a brilliant human being. I was classified the good student that got good grades, and both of us just wanted to be who we were, because I remember there was a lot of pressure to live up to that label, right? And when I got into some advanced classes in high school and I wasn't getting the A anymore, it was devastating to my identity. I just wanted to be Matt. And I think that's what your kids and what so many kids find at SCVi is they get to be themselves, right? And yeah, go ahead.
That is huge. That's absolutely it, because my daughter really blossomed as an individual. Like I think she really found an identity while she was here. And I mean, what more do you want for your child, you know, as a parent than that?
Yeah.
It was really great. And even though she came here having been an A student, and her grades dropped for that first year because our structure is so different here, or at that point was vastly different from anything that they had had before.
Yeah.
But of course, she brought it back up. But, you know, and it was, I mean, I panicked for a second, you know, oh my God, grades.
Well, it's an adjustment, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and Cheryl Senna was their English teacher at the time, and she was like, you know what, it's okay. They'll be fine. And I was like, no, they're not. You know, grades are everything. And she's like, really, I promise it'll be fine. And she was right. And, you know, so, and my kids are beautiful humans, and one went to college, one didn't go to college. And, you know, one runs a business, and, you know, the other one is doing her thing. So, I mean, they're great. They're humans. They've grown up. They're productive people, and they knew who they are, and they could be themselves. And I think that happened earlier because of SCVi, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, and that is so important in life. They know who they are and they know what they want, and that is, I want to say, half the battle. That is 90% of the battle in life. How many of us
Yeah,
still at our age don't know who we are or what we want out of life?
yeah.
Okay, Colleen. So your kids have graduated, but you're still a vital part of SCVi. We talked about why you came, but tell us about why you stay. What do you like about our school, and why do you remain at SCVi?
Um, I stayed for the connections.
Mm,
My kids left, and I thought maybe it was over for me,
sure.
and it just didn't turn out to be over for me. It was, well, Colleen, can you do this, or Colleen, can you do that? And like I said earlier, there really isn't anything that I haven't done here. And I stayed for the connections, and I've made some honestly very, very good lifelong friendships
Mm.
of people who no longer work here, but I still keep in touch. As a matter of fact, several of us are having dinner next week. So, and people have moved out of state, and I'm still connecting with these people. And, this year I'm lucky enough I get to work literally 5 feet from my very best friend.
Oh.
And, it's, even though it's a job, it's fun. And I always, there were a couple of years where, it was a struggle, but for the most part, I enjoy working here. I enjoy the people that I work with. I enjoy the connections that I make I was just talking to somebody, and I said, how is it possible that child is in 9th grade? That is not possible, because I worked in kindergarten with that child. They're not in 9th grade. I haven't been here that long, And, so to see these kids grow up and, they run through the office and, hey, Miss Colleen, and, I still have kids who say, Miss Colleen, you've been the principal here for so long. Okay, well, no, but thank you, so.
Oh, that's funny.
But it's just, it's the connections. It really is. It
Yeah.
really is the connections. And my voice is heard. So,
That's
and that's
really
important to me.
Yeah, and that goes back to that culture, that unique culture at SCVi, and it's not just for our students, our learners. It goes into our staff, our families as well, and that's part of what makes SCVi so unique. Colleen Banks Shanahan, office manager with SCVi Charter School. We're touching on it, but if you're not familiar with SCVi, when we get back, we're going to dive a little deeper into what makes our school so unique and such an amazing place for children and adults to grow and become who they are. We'll be right back. I'm Matt Watson. This is SCVi and I Lead School's Eye on the Valley, and you're listening to your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM, as well as hometownstation.com. This is SCVi and I Lead School's Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson. We are on the phone. We are being visited by office manager at SCVi Charter School, Colleen Banks Shanahan, joining us this morning. So, Colleen, we touched on it a little bit as we were talking about your story, and I think our listeners can really extrapolate some of the unique beauty of what makes SCVi such an amazing school. But can you tell our listeners, especially having that experience working in the traditional school district here in town, what makes SCVi different from those the traditional neighborhood schools? Because Colleen, our community, this, is known for extremely well performing schools, but there is the need for something a little bit different. So what makes us different from the traditional public school?
Matt, everything makes us different.
Go on.
Beginning from the building that we're in to how the verbiage we use, and how we function as a staff, and facilitators, which are our teachers, learners, which are our students, you know, and everything about us is different. We are, having worked in the high school here for several years, I would hear parents say this to me, my child came home with the English teacher's phone number and said he could call her. I told him not to. And I said, well, he's got the English teacher's phone number. It's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, he can call the English teacher. And people are very confused like that. What do you mean that the English teacher gave out her phone number? You know, and, you know, so it's like that. Our college career advisor, Chris Nielsen, all the kids have her number.
Yeah.
They text her. They text her constantly. They text her sometimes when they shouldn't text her. Miss Nielsen, I'm up. I'm doing my online class at 2 a.m. Can you approve a test for me? She's like, you know, I just actually happened to be awake at that time, and I approved that child's test.
Wow.
You know, so
let's pause on the
mean,
customer
that's
service
the kind of service
that.
we are, right?
You know, yeah, the high school counselor approving a child to take an online test at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's
you know,
customer
what can
service.
I say?
Wow.
That's service, right?
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
and
my goodness.
I mean, she goes to the basketball games for our basketball team that attend with us, and she's a big sports nut, and she loves going and attending those. And you know, we're having Halloween dances and game nights and all of this stuff, and our staff is heavily involved in that, and our administration is involved in that. Look, I haven't been in the high school for years, but I went to prom last year. You know, and it was lots of fun. And I hadn't been to a prom in a while, and this year I'm on the planning committee for prom. And it's just, we're very, very different. We don't have desks. Our kids don't sit at single desks in rows. It just doesn't work like that. Not all of our classrooms have 4 walls. No, we're not open air, but we have what, you know, multi-age classrooms and open concept. So we have the mountain room and the forest room, and so where there's a classroom in each corner, and then we have a big built mountain in the center of the room that divides up those classrooms, you know, and then in the other building there's literally a forest that houses the sensory room, you know, in the middle of the other classrooms. So we're not 4 walls with bulletin boards.
Well, and it's meant for a couple of reasons, right? One, it's intended to be engaging. We want our kids to be excited about school, to feel comfortable at school, to be engaged when they're there. And then it's also intended, from the multi-age classroom to the configuration of the furniture, from kindergarten through high school, it's intended to simulate as much as possible the workplace environment. Right? If we're going to prepare our kids for the workplace, then we should look a lot more like the workplace, right?
Right. And people think, how do kids focus when there's a class right next to them and they can hear what's going on in the next room? You'd really be surprised if they're engaged, you know, which 99% of them are 99% of the time. It's not a problem. You know, it's like me having a conversation with you and somebody standing next to us having a conversation with somebody else. We can manage that.
Right. Humans are built for that.
And that's what we teach our learners to do is to manage that. And the world is not 4 walls and you're inside the box. We are very outside of the box.
All right. So Colleen, I want to ask you, I want to dispel a few myths here. And so what I want to do, because it's amazing, we're coming up on 30 years now that we've had charter schools in California, and SCVi has been around for, 15 years, 16 years maybe. And yet still, when I tell people that I work for SCVi, when I tell people I work for a charter school organization, they ask me some questions that imply certain things that aren't always true. So let me throw some of those questions at you, because this really does sound beautiful. Our kids are getting a personalized education that's helping them learn, helping them lead, helping them discover who they are and what they want out of life. So how much does an education like this cost?
Nothing. We are a free public charter school. And I don't know how many times I get that question,
Right.
especially during enrollment and over summers and things like that. What does it cost to go to your charter school? You're a charter school, therefore you must be private. No, we are free. We are a public school. So please, we're another choice. We're another option for kids, So and families, we're another option, and there's no cost to come and participate with us. Just like there's no cost to participate in your local school that's down the street.
And I love that you say that we're another option. I remember reading an article, gosh, this was quite a few years back, but that 50 years ago, the single most important decision that a family had to make was which pediatrician to choose, which doctor to choose for our children. And that has been now replaced with which school to choose, because we're living in a time where parents do get to choose which school to send their kids to, when not so long ago, the only families that had that choice were the families that were wealthy enough to choose a private school. But that's not the case anymore. Families get to choose where to send their kids to school. It's amazing that we get that choice and that we have options in the marketplace, if you will, for school choice. So, but there are still boundaries. I know your campus is located in Castaic, and that's one of the maybe one of the myths that I always have to break down for people, because folks living here in the center of town, they say Castaic is way up there. Well, you're like barely in Castaic, right? You're just off of Newhall Ranch Road.
Yeah, exactly, barely.
So is it limited to just folks in that neighborhood? Are they the only ones that can take advantage?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Our boundaries actually are LA County, Kern County, Ventura County, San Bernardino, and Orange County. We can accommodate, SCVi can accommodate learners from all of those. And we actually do have learners in all of those counties who attend one of our programs here at SCVi. We have 3 programs, and then we have a sub-program within within our site-based program. So, we actually have learners from all of those 5 counties attending here at SCVi. And some people drive every single day from the Valley. Some people drive from Lancaster. Some people drive, from Fillmore, Piru. I myself, it's a 10-mile truck. I live in Canyon Country. So I live over by Costco, and I drive in every single day. And, it only takes me 15 minutes if I leave really early, 20 if I've hit traffic time. So it's really, it's not bad at all. And we have families from all over for all of our programs.
Yeah, and you mentioned the different programs. The backbone, obviously, of our school is the classroom-based program. We've got transitional kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, which I find beautiful, by the way, that one, your kid can attend the same school from kindergarten or earlier through 12th grade, and two, that your teenager and your little bitty can attend the same school, and kids really enjoy that. I think when I taught 4th grade, for example, I remember some of the high school siblings coming over to pick up their little brother and sister, and that was kind of a beautiful thing. So let's talk about, unfortunately, the school year has already started, so parents need to wait until next year to enroll, or when is your open enrollment
Absolutely
period?
not. We have open enrollment year-round. So depending upon our availability, we have some grades that are full, some grades that have space, some programs that are full, some programs that have space. So it really changes constantly because we have open enrollment. So we have our seat-based program, which is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You come to school just like every other school.
Just like school.
We
yeah.
have our home study program, which is you only have to connect with your EF or educational facilitator. That is your teacher that runs that program for you and connects with you once every 20 days. Otherwise, they just set up your classes for you, and you get educational funds for that. There's also the hybrid program, the Innovations program, which is let's see, Innovations. So how do I explain Innovations?
So Innovation
it
Studios...
It is literally a hybrid program.
Right, where your
come
kids...
on site.
Boom, you got it. I don't need to tell you.
You can come on site. You can come on site as well as take online classes, as well as take the site-based classes. You can and you juggle it that way. It is really for Innovations is geared towards more goal-oriented and self-regulated, self-motivated learners.
Yeah.
Because we've had, kids who have participated in our local Valley Film Festival. We've had, who've been in the hybrid program. We have a lot of actors who come through our programs. And then our sub-program is off of our seat-based program. We have a dual immersion program, which has grown so much. It started just in kindergarten, and now we're kindergarten through fourth grade, dual immersion Spanish program. And we're hoping to every year add a grade. So hopefully next year we get to add fifth grade. And we have teachers direct from Spain this year. And they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And so that really, really puts that immersion culture into those classes. But that also is 5 days a week.
Yep.
On our site base. So those are our 3 and a sub, 3.5 programs that we have here at SCVi. We really have so much, and we take applications year-round.
So let's talk about that. So how can people learn more? How can people enroll? How do I apply to get my kid in at SCVi?
Well, Matt, since you've asked, so anybody can go to our website, which is ileadsantaclarita.org. And right there, as soon as you get on, it says enrollment application. And you click on that, and you complete that little bit of information, and then that comes to us. And if we have space, we offer you a placement. So, like right now, I know my high school has space.
Okay.
And
great.
I know I have space in TK and kindergarten, and I believe first grade. The rest I'd have to check on. Those are the ones that I know right off the top of my head. We do have space.
And even if you don't have space, I would encourage families to apply. And once a spot opens up, who knows, Colleen may be calling you next month to have your kid come on in and join our school.
Absolutely, because today it may be full, but tomorrow it may not be.
Exactly.
And we are our applications for the fall of 23-24 open on December 17th.
Oh, so
and
really
then
soon.
Those applications will go in for our lottery, which we hold in March, which is for the spring. And so far we've been able to work it so that everybody gets a spot.
Fantastic.
So I'm excited about that.
Fantastic. So that's ileadsantaclarita.org, or heck, just Google SCVi. SCVi, boom, it's going to be that first hit up there, and click the Enroll Now button. Colleen, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. You really are not only the backbone, but the central nervous system of everything that happens at SCVi. You have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you real soon.
Great. Thanks, Matt. It was lovely talking to you.
Take care. This is SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM, as well as at hometownstation.com. This is SCVi and I Lead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson, and this just in. Mike Judge is the American League MVP, and Shohei Ohtani finished second and third. But now, it is time.
Aaron Judge.
Okay, whatever. Mike Judge is that other guy, huh?
Wasn't he the creator of King of the Hill or something?
But now, as you can hear, hey, you're jumping the gun on me. It is time for Big T's 5 minutes of fame. Y'all know Big T. Big T is a longtime resident and leader in the Santa Clarita Valley. He's an executive and a philanthropist. He's an amazing father, a brilliant man, a husband, a community leader, and a man who wishes he could put a bag over his personality. Here he is, folks. He's Mom's favorite. Big T, welcome to the show.
Morning, all.
Hey, Big T, we got engineer Andrew in, so
Hello.
Matt, you and I are in big trouble.
All right, let's see about that.
Alrighty, now for those of you playing along at home, you actually get the drop on us because the rules are Big T's going to throw out some trivia questions. We're going to hit our buzzer. Our buzzer is our name, gentlemen. So we've got Andrew. We've got two Matts. So I'm going to have to go by Frogger. So we're going to call out our names when we know the answer. But you at home, you don't need to call out your name. Just call out the answer and see if you can beat us. All right, Big T, what have you got for us, brother man?
I got a quick fun fact for us. So the world population is 7.7 billion people. You know, Matt, if you took all of the people in the world and you put them in the state of Texas, you would have the same population density as New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that
Pretty good.
Texas is pretty big.
And New York is pretty crowded.
All righty. Some trivia for you.
All right.
What peaceful nation has been called the Switzerland
Frogger.
of Central America?
Ooh. Oh.
Frogger.
Okay.
Frogger.
So if you stopped early when I shouted out my name, I was going to say Switzerland, but I'm going to go with Costa Rica.
Costa Rica is correct.
All right.
Can you name
I believe
the
that
four
question
players
has
that
been
have
asked
700
before, Tony.
Oh.
I just, for the integrity committee here, I believe that question has been
We're on
asked.
repeaters
on a previous
already.
Wow.
Right.
We'll scratch that point from Matt. We'll scratch that
Thank
point from
you.
Matt.
All right.
Darn it.
All right. Who holds the record? Excuse me. Name the four players that have 700-plus career home runs.
Matt,
Matt.
Albert Pujols, Hank Aaron, Babe
Uh-huh.
Ruth, and
Yep.
Barry Bonds.
I went the big asterisk.
Correct.
Right.
Matt is on the board and in the lead.
There we go.
Who holds
Baroid
the major
Buns.
league? Who holds the major league record for most home runs in a season?
Matt,
Oh.
Matt.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds. Who
Your Honor, I
holds
object.
the record for most home runs?
Say
Who
again?
holds the Yankee record for most home
Frogger.
runs in a season?
Oh.
Frogger.
That would be Judge. Aaron Judge.
Okay, so it's just for one team, right? Gotcha. Okay. According to the movie Bull Durham, who holds the minor league record for most home runs in a season?
Okay.
Frogger.
Frogger.
Is it Crash Davis?
That is Crash Davis. What American entrepreneur founded the company Blue Origin?
Mm.
Matt,
Nobody. Matt, go ahead.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Mark Cuban.
Incorrect. Jeff Bezos.
All right.
All right.
The Seabees is a construction battalion in what branch of the U.S. military?
Matt,
Matt,
the Navy.
the Navy is correct.
Nice.
We got a
pull.
player. Look at that.
Yeah.
Man.
I had a 1 in
what's going on over
5
here?
shot, right?
He's getting
I
better
mean,
every
yeah,
week.
he did.
I'm not being sarcastic. I can't hear Andrew at all. So if he's saying
Oh, I'm right
something,
here. Yeah, I'm here.
The
I'm
volume's
here.
really
I'm playing.
okay. All right, no worries.
I'm playing.
What 1971 horror novel was inspired by reports of the demonic possession of a 13-year-old?
Oh, okay.
Frogger.
The Exorcist.
Exorcist is correct. Taking office in 1861, Hannibal Hamlin was the first vice president to serve under what president?
Frogger.
Frogger.
It wasn't. Let's see. Kennedy.
Incorrect.
Andrew Lincoln.
Lincoln is correct. 1861 was your clue.
1851.
Yo-Yo Ma is famous for playing what instrument?
Matt,
Matt.
the cello.
Cello's correct.
Cello.
From the French, help me. What term is considered
Andrew.
an international cry for help? Andrew.
Oh, never for help me. No, I was gonna go CB play, but no. Nope.
You want me to finish the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that? Yes.
Yeah, from the French, help me. What term is considered an international cry for
Okay,
help on
Frogger.
a distress vessel?
Frogger.
Frogger.
SOS.
Oh, okay.
Incorrect.
Nope.
Oh. I got it.
Mayday.
Yeah,
Mayday,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Mayday, Mayday.
Mayday. In the S&P 500 stock market index, what does the P stand for?
Matt,
Matt,
production.
incorrect. Anybody?
I'm looking for clues. Nope.
Stands for poor.
Oh,
Standard & Poor.
Okay.
The Sun-Times and the Tribune are competing newspapers in
Frogger.
what city?
Chicago.
Chicago's correct. Which NHL team is based in Detroit?
Frogger.
I think that was a three-way tie.
what do we do about
What
this?
are we
here?
doing?
Someone in booth has to make the call.
Precious.
Do you
Ring
know
it
it?
first.
I'll give it
How
to
about this? On
Andrew.
the count of
Andrew,
three,
go
we
for it.
all three
All
say
right,
our answer.
Red Wings.
Okay, Andrew's got it.
Red Wings. All right, give it to
Andrew's
Andrew.
got it. Red Wings. Okay. Sony introduced the low-cost VCR in 1969. What did VCR stand for?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Video cassette recorder.
Yes, you remember getting one of those, huh?
I couldn't wait.
In 69. What first lady met her future husband when he was the president of the Screen Actors Guild?
Frogger.
Frogger.
That'd be Nancy Reagan.
Nancy Reagan's correct. When her father took office in 2009, what 7-year-old became the youngest first daughter since
Andrew.
Caroline Kennedy to reside in the White House? Andrew.
Was it Malia?
Incorrect.
Matt. Misha Obama.
Sasha Obama's correct. Tagalog formed the basis of the official national language of what country?
Frogger.
Frogger.
The Philippines.
Philippines is correct.
And good job on the pronunciation, Big
Okay.
T.
Thank you. Kumusta ka na?
Whoa.
Spoken by 500 million plus people, what is the most widely used
Matt.
romance language?
Oh,
Matt.
Matt.
Andrew.
Spanish.
Spanish is correct. What Mexican holiday celebrated on November 1st
Andrew.
and November 2nd is Andrew?
Dia de los Muertos.
Oh, good pronunciation. Dia de los Muertos is correct. With a temperature of negative 109 degrees Fahrenheit and the potential to cause severe frostbite, dry ice
Andrew.
is the frozen form of Andrew.
Was it absolute zero?
Incorrect.
Frogger.
Dry ice is the Frogger.
Nitrogen.
Incorrect. Dry ice is the frozen form of what gas? Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. I'll let you finish the question next time.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
It's a fine line move.
Invented by Joe Sobek in 1950. What sport is played in a four-wall court?
Andrew.
Go, big man.
I got Frogger, then I got Andrew.
All right.
All right, I'm going racquetball.
Racquetball's correct.
Sweet.
CP3 is a Nike shoe sold for what NBA player?
Andrew. Go ahead, Matt.
I got
That would be Chris
Good.
Paul.
Chris Paul is correct.
All right, hey, Big T, I think we got to wrap it up there. And the only reason I'm saying so is because I got Matt by 1 point, so we're going to stop there.
Wow.
Oh,
Andrew, you need to get in here more often. You're out of practice, bro.
know.
Like I said, we do have to wrap it up. I want to thank our guest, board president of the Raising the Curtain Foundation. Sorry about that. Raising the Curtain Foundation, Kim Pearlman, office manager at SCVi Charter School, Colleen Banks Shanahan, producer Sarah, engineer Matt, engineer Andrew, Precious, Big T, and thank you for listening. Hey, life is hard, but we're all here to help each other along. Be well, do good, and join us again next week and every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi, and I lead schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.